The last time I had the book haul was in February, end of February, which was before COVID decided to spread its wings further and life as we knew it changed. Because I look back at February and I'm like, yo, I was watching that video and all I was thinking was like, yo, Nora has no idea what's coming away. But I have acquired a couple of books ever since. I say a couple, I mean a little over 50. Some of them came in subscription boxes. Some of them are part of my Book of the Month subscription. Some of them were, interestingly enough, gifts from people who did not put their notes in. So I don't know who to thank. And some of them I bought because I wanted to. So yeah, to kick off this book haul, I'm going to bring in two books I already got in February and the reason why I'm going to explain. But yes, so The Assassin's Apprentice and Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. These two books I hauled in my last haul because I said I wanted to get into Robin Hobb, and the word was that I should start with A Realm of the Elderling series, but that those are 5 series, not 5 books, 5 individual series that are all interconnected, and then I can move on to the rest of Robin Hobb's books. Now, a normal person, someone who is very highly logical, will be like, yo, if it is that our entire Realm of Elderling series is interconnected, maybe I should read the first series, maybe I should read 1 or 2 books in the first series, see if I love her writing style before, I buy the rest of the books. This girl here ain't normal. And also, I am very highly illogical because see, I went on a Robin Hobb buying binge. Holy shit, I need to go to the gym. So yes, after that big reveal of the fact that I went on a binge, I'm going to start. I'm panting because I definitely do need to go to the gym because, whoa, those books are heavy. And like I said, I already got these 2 books by the end of February, and I said that I had the other books coming, and I was right. So I also got Assassin's Quest, also by Robin Hobb. This 3 makes a Farseer trilogy. I do not, because you all know I try my best to know as little as possible when I'm diving into books, especially when they're fantasy books. But I do know that this book follows, I'm not sure if his name is Fitz, sorry. His name is Fitz, yes. So, we follow Fitz, who is the son, the illegitimate heir of the crown prince. But his birth, rather than bring celebration, basically brought scorn to the crown prince, who had to step down, etc., etc. So Fitz is held responsible for that, right? Everybody loathed him because it was because of him that their beloved crown prince has to step down, and the only way in which Fitz can prove useful to the country, to his family, is to train to be an assassin. The only problem is that the person that is training him to be an assassin technically wants him dead. So how is the assassin apprentice going to survive this? So that is what we get in the first trilogy, at least the first books in the Farseer trilogy. That is all I needed to know was information about the very first book, and then seeing that they are all interconnected. And I do not want to know what happens to Fitz once I get to the later books in the series, because apparently we follow basically his life story as we move forward. And if I read the synopsis of the other books, then I know what happens at the end of each series, if that makes any sense. That is what happens when series are interconnected. But anyway, here is the Farseer trilogy. Then I got the Live Ship Traders trilogy, which has Ship of Magic, The Mad Ship, Ship of Destiny. I know, like, also, I love the fact that certain paperbacks of Robin Hobb's are so similar in color and texture, and they're just so visually appealing that I had to get them in that particular. I didn't want the mass market paperback because I thought they were ugly, and I didn't want the other designs of the paperback because they were not aesthetically pleasing. Like, once I realized that she had certain series and you could get them in this particular color, I went looking for them and I got them. Because if you look at this color and this color, it's like this is white and this is off-white, kind of brownish, but they still look like they work in the same universe, and I wanted that. So yes. Next, I got our Toni Man trilogy, which has Fool's Errand, The Golden Fool, Fool's Fate, and once again, like I said, the color is similar. I think we're still following Fitz and Fitz's life story, so I have zero idea what happens in this book, but I know we're still following Fitz's journey. Then I got the Rainwild Chronicles with Dragon Keeper, Dragon Haven, City of Dragons, and Blood of Dragons. So all 4 books are in the Rainwild Chronicles. Like, this series apparently has dragons. That was it's already connected in Robin Hobb's world, so I knew I was going to get it, but realizing that there are dragons in this just made it extra important for me to get the series as well. And finally, I got Fitz and the Foe, but that is a trilogy, but the third book has arrived. It's just that when this set of books were being shipped to me via the logistics company I used, that had not yet arrived, but I did get all the 3 books in the trilogy. But so far I have Fool's Assassin and Fool's Quest. Assassin's Fate is going to arrive with the next shipment of things I bought. So yeah, those are the Robin Hobb books I bought. I think those are the 5 series in the Realms of the Elderling series. Let me know if you all agree, because what I read online was that it's best to read the Realm of the Elderling series in order of publication. So take each series based on the way in which Robin Hobb published them. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you think that I should rather jump across series for a better immersive experience. But please know that I would rather read them in an order in which I do not want to get spoiled, not even a little bit. Like, I have not read the synopsis of the other books in this series because I do not want a whiff, a hint of a spoiler. So please, when you're giving your recommendations, please keep this in mind. Thank you. Next, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in my last haul, but I did get this. Yes, Brandon Sanderson's Warbreaker. I did get this as a gift from Amy. Once again, thank you, Amy. If I've already said thank you in my video, consider this a second thank you. But yes, this was the first Sanderson that arrived for me, I think. But yes, so thank you so much, Amy. I cannot wait to delve into it. I'm not sure if I should start Warbreaker first or if I should wait until I have the Mistborn series, because I also do have plans to get that series. Let me know in the comments if you think I should read Mistborn first before I read Warbreaker, because I think Warbreaker is a standalone. I'm not sure, but I think so. And in this, we basically follow 2 sisters. One of whom is set to marry some god, and apparently in this world, when you die like bravely or in glory, you become a god. So I just think of it like Greek mythology, in the sense of acts of valor have you turned into a god. That's what I think when I think about this book, and I can't wait to read this, because please just let me know if you think I should hold off and read Mistborn first. Just let me know. Let me know. And seeing that I've already spoken about a book that I was gifted, I figure that it only makes sense for me to just run through the books that I received as gifts for this haul. And the first is The Right Swipe by Alicia Rai. This didn't come with a note. I'm so heartbroken because I don't know who to thank. I know you're probably watching my videos, so if it is that you are, thank you so much for this. This book is gorgeous. In this, we follow Rhiannon. Yes, Rhiannon. In this, we follow Rhiannon, who basically creates dating apps. And when it is that a guy she connected with and she had quite the magical time with via an app, when it is that the guy ghosts her and then returns later into her life, there's all that drama. As someone who lives for those old things of, it's a second chance romance, but it's a second chance romance that comes with a bit of anger and rage and, yo, you ghosted, motherfucker, you to come back and say that you want me back. Like that, I live for shit like that. It just has all that tension, and this book definitely looks like it would have. So fingers crossed that I enjoy it. It was in my wish list and someone sent it to me. Once again, I don't know who sent it, but whoever you are, thank you so much. Another book that was sent to me from my wish list, but also came with, in fact, what am I even saying? All the rest of the books I'm mentioning, none of them came with a note, so I don't know who to thank, but someone sent me Sky in the Deep by Andrian Young. I love this because, one, it centers Vikings. I also do think that I find Viking tribe warriors who also set out to build communities and clans and who basically go in search for survival of their tribe. And in this, we have Eileen, who is fighting on the battlefield, but when it is that she sees her brother, who she thought died 5 years ago, everything that she thought she knew changes, because now she has to work together with enemies in order to fight an even greater threat, and she just might end up falling for said enemy. What can I say? It's enemies to lovers. It's one of my favorite tropes. And then someone got me, I hope you get this message by Farah Nazrishi. One, this cover is stunning. I know Alcrate did a version that was all lemony green, but honestly, I love the OG cover. And the concept of this gripped me, and the reason why it was on my wish list, because my plan was to get it eventually, and someone beat me to it and got me this. Once again, it didn't come with a note, and it's just heartbreaking because thank you so much. Thank you. The concept of this, like I said, is very intriguing. The world is ending in 7 days because Earth has been contacted by an alien civilization, and of course, we automatically assume that that means that the alien civilizations want to attack, and that's going to be the end of the planet. And so we follow three teens who are battling different things. One of them believes that the life as he knows it has not cut him any break, whether it's in his relationship with other boys or whether it's with his mom, etc. Like, the earth has not cut him any slack. So as far as it's concerned, what's the big deal? The second teenager considered this an opportunity to find her father, a father who has been lost to her in only stories, because she's been hearing the wildest stories about him ever since she was a kid, and she figures that this is a perfect time for her to actually be able to find this father that has become a myth and a legend to her. And the third teenager figures that this is the opportunity for him to forgive his sister. The whole point is that he does not want to, even though the earth is technically going to end in 7 days. The fact that all three of their lives are going to interconnect in some way has me very intrigued. Ever since I heard about it, I wanted to read it, and now I have it in my hands, and I'm just like, oh my god. Once again, whoever sent me these books, thank you. Whomever, multiple people, because I'm certainly came for multiple people, but all the people that sent me this, thank you so much. I'm so sorry I can't like name you personally, because I always love being able to do that, because nobody dropped. The only note I got was, I hope you enjoy your gift, but there was no name. No name. Once again, thank you. Next, someone got me is Angel Mage. It's Angel Mage by Garth. This would be the first Garth book I ever read, because I'm so sorry, I never read Sabriel. And I'm so excited about this because this has a lot of things that I love. It has Lilith, who brings to mind for me Lilith, but she's an ancient magic practitioner who has been sleeping in the sarcophagus for centuries. Now she's awakened. She wants to resurrect her love, the fallen angel Perennial, and she does not care exactly what cost it would bring, what havoc it would wreak, and exactly who she would have to destroy to make that happen, especially the 4 people she set her eyes on to help make her desire, a grand desire, a reality. I am very interested because apparently in this world, our descendants and the people born of the tribe of the angel, that the fallen angel that she fell in love with, apparently their descendants, they are known as refusers because their bodies cannot conduct magic. It rejects it and then they die or something. And just the fact that she is going to use 4 of her descendants, you know she's going to have to imbue them with power and magic to bring her lover to life. And the fact that she still does not care, I'm like, yo, Lilith is a bitch. I am interested. I am very intrigued. So someone sent me this. Look at that cover. Isn't that cover gorgeous? Isn't that gorgeous? Like, I am in awe. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is so pretty. Oh my god. And then someone got me All American Muslim Girl by Nadine Julie Courtney. We follow a girl who lives in a family where they are Muslims, but they don't practice openly, and as such, the boy that she's been dating and people in her school don't know that she's Muslim. The problem is that our boyfriend's father is one of the loudest conservative Islamophobes in the town, in the area, and when the Islamophobia gets on the rise in her city, she reacts by falling deeply into her faith, you know, by practicing it, learning more about it, studying it, and also having to deal with the Islamophobia that she then has to face as a result of her openly practicing her faith. And it's all a case of her being able to juggle it all, and also her being able to find herself and live her truth. And the cover is stunning. The premise is intriguing. I'm so thankful. Once again, I don't know who got this off of my wish list, but you all are amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh my god. And then someone got me this. Okay, let me take it out of the pack so you all can see why I'm so excited, because it's a bookmark. Yes, it is a bookmark. But see that? It says, drink good coffee, read good books. As a lover of coffee, and now I've actually started getting into tea, like loose tea, flavored loose tea. I never knew I could get into loose tea. This This phenomenon started a couple of weeks back and now I'm addicted, but coffee would always be my number one love. And as a lover of coffee, good coffee, and a lover of good books, great books, this bookmark called to me, and I added it on my wish list, and someone got it for me. Oh my god! And seeing that we are talking about bookmarks, and I know this is a book haul, so this is technically bookish, but it's still books adjacent, so you all can forgive me. Anyway, seeing that we're talking bookmarks, I figured I can share, because this bookmarks got delivered with this parcel. I got some bookmarks from Gemlin Creation when she had a sale. She's currently closed off shop. I hope she's fine. But anyway, see that? That is the love of my life. That is Bryce Quinlan. Yes, Bryce Quinlan from you all know it. That is House of Earth and Blood, which is the first book in the Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. Then that is Danica. Oh my god. See my girl, baby Danica. If you've seen my media freakout tag, you know that this is my fictional crush of the year. And of course, oh, look at him. He has the purple lightning. That's Hunt on Tatala. And that is Rune. I love the tattoos. I love the half-shaved head. Pair that with his piercings and his fake ears. Like, that is a Fae prince I absolutely am in love with. And that is Connor. And this is Tharion. If you've read the books, you know Tharion. Lahaba. I'm so crying because that ending, oh god damn. This was the second time I bawled hard when I was reading this book. And these two people, I have not read Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff yet, but Kat looks fucking attractive as fuck. I want them to sit on my face. See gorgeousness. Look at Zilla. Zilla has me like, do you all think I'll look good with green hair? Because Zilla looks great with green hair, and all I'm thinking is that maybe I should dye my hair green or find green colored braids or a wig that is green. Something green, because Zilla makes green look good. So now I'm convinced that green will look good with my skin tone. So let me know down in the comments if you think I should get some sort of green in my hair. It might not be a dye, because I don't know why. My hair and dyes, they don't last long. Like, they are in some sort of relationship, and it seems like it's a short-term relationship. It seems more like a fling or a midnight hookup, because they don't last long. And I forgot to see this is the back of Bryce's bookmark, because I didn't know that there were designs at the back. This is the one for Danica. I just love the fact that Danica is still lighted up. This is the back of On's bookmark. This is what Rune's looks like, connected to his magic. I love it. This is Connor's. Connor. This is Tharion. This is the back of Lehaba. And this is Kat and Zilla's. So, love it. Love the back of it. It looks good from the front and the back. And then, I did not just get the bookmarks. I also got little bit character art and print. Yes, this is Chain of Gold, because Chain of Gold is Bay. That is Cordelia Castells. This right here is James Arundel, of course, with a signature book. Lucy with her inked pen and the sheets of paper representing her writing. And of course, there is Matthew. That is Matthew Fairchild, is carrying a glass of wine, as expected, because if you read the books, you know how significant his alcoholism is to Matthew. And here is, you've watched my wrap-up, so you know that I said Anna Lightwood, like, they are my second favorite character in the series after Magnus Bane, and here they are looking stunning. Oh god, Anna makes suits look so goddamn good. And then there's Thomas Lightwood. Look at him. Thomas, all grown up, looking so, it's like a snack. And there's my baby Christopher with the beacons and everything, because, you know, experimenting is the thing he does. And then there's Jesse Blackthorn. I love the faint imprint of the rune you can see, because it's significant to his story and it's just so sad. And then Alistair, but with his hair dyed blonde, not black. And finally, Grace Blackthorn. We all love to hate her, but I actually find her character very intriguing, and I can't wait to see where Cassandra takes a story. But yeah, so those are art prints. I am going back to books now, I promise. Now, I don't think I've mentioned it of late on my channel, but your girl loves a very good, I love grimdark fantasy. I love stories that basically explore a world where power makes right, and there is necessarily no good or bad, and it's always very interesting to watch characters toe that line and see people who you would expect to be the noble ones to survive have to be the one who lose because they do not have the power and they are not playing by the rules of the world in which they exist, or rather they think that they exist in another world with another rule. So yes, I love grimdark fantasy, and because of that I decided to pick the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. So yes, we're starting with The Blade itself, Before They Are Hanged, Last Argument of Kings. I'm not gonna lie, I know practically zero about this book. I know though that there's a character called Glockta who everybody seems to find fascinating. He is a crippled character, so it would work for the Fuck Ableism prompt if you know you have this book on your shelves and you've just never walked up the interest to pick it up. But is a crippled character who has become a torturer, and you would, of course, he's not a good person. It's not like he has nice thoughts about other people, but one torturer at a time is going to find the secret of the government, especially the evil, dirty underbelly government secrets. And then you have one of our paragon of selflessness, you know, the good character, the virtuous character who is currently in the war. You have another character who is about to die, and you have a magi who might be the death of them all. I'm actually very intrigued by this concept, also because I heard it's grimdark fantasy done right, and I'm like, yes, please. So I got the entire First Law trilogy. If you read the series, what was your rating? Did you enjoy it? If you enjoyed it, would you say it's a book I should bump up somewhere in my TBR and pray to God that my cat picks it? Like, I am actually very intrigued. I want to know. Also, like, look at the spines of this. Isn't this the most gorgeous spine? These books are pretty. Still speaking of pretty books, I ended up getting the UK covers. Yes, the UK covers of Nevernight and God's Grave. Dark Dawn is not here because I already have the UK cover of that. I also have the US cover. So yes, I have these books with the two covers. I think the UK covers are stunning. I also think the US cover are stunning. I love the fact that the UK covers made use of the passengers, which are essential to Mia's story. I also love the fact that the US covers center Mia Covert herself, and you know, the trademark thing, the Harlequin mask, which is part of who she is, the Grave Bone dagger, which is connected to her mother, the Grave Bone sword, which is connected to her father. I love the fact that whoever designed these covers read the books and understood what was at the heart of it and tried to bring all of that in the covers of the different editions, both US and UK, and I think they did well. I do love the series, and these covers are stunning. I got this when Illumicrate had their sale of it at the start of the year. Like, I think they sold this, like, was it in January or February? Like, very early this year. They had the sales, and I got them, and look at them. They are black sprayed edges, so pretty. For those that do not know what Nevernight is about, the Nevernight Chronicles follows a girl, Mia Covert, who is training to become an assassin. Why? Because she wants to get vengeance on the people responsible for the death of her family and the destruction of our world, and she's going to take that vengeance one bloody kill at a time, and it was bloody, and I absolutely loved it. So yeah, once again, pretty. I've also already stated on the channel that your girl is a gamer. I love playing video games. I particularly love Witcher, especially Witcher Last Hunt. Witcher Last Hunt is the real shit. Now I feel like playing that game all over again. I should play it all over again, shouldn't I? Anyway, I adored the Witcher game. I also watched the Witcher show and I binged it. Love that show. I am aching and hunkering and ready for season 2. And yes, you all probably already know what books are coming your way. I got the Witcher books because I am ready to start, to get invested. I followed Geralt's story in the games. I followed Geralt's stories in the show. It now makes sense for me to follow his and Ciri's story in the books. And so I got all the books, all 8 books. So I have The Last Wish, Sword of Destiny, Season of Storm, Blood of Hell, Time of Contempt, Baptism of Fire, The Tower of the Swallow, and The Lady of the Lake. So yes, I got all 8 Witcher books because I am ready to get invested in the world. But I did not just get that because, I repeat, your girl is a big gamer. So I got Gwent. Yes, look at that. Gwent, out of the Witcher card game. If you've played The Witcher games. You know how important Gwent is. Now, Gwent is a card game within this game whereby you collect cards, you play cards, you win to get cards, etc., etc. Of course, you also win to get money as well. The higher cards with the highest values also have the highest powers that heavily influence your game. I love playing Gwent. Like, oh my god, I can spend hours playing Gwent in the Witcher game. I got addicted to Gwent, the game, so I absolutely had to get this. This basically, think of it as a glossary of some sort of the different characters and the different factions present in the Witcher world, because they are used in the game, in the world of the game. So these are Witcher characters that are brought into the game within the game. I know it's very confusing, but I love Gwent. So when you open this is like full colored pictures, right? And then you have stories and information about these different factions, these different groups of people. It is so cool. Different characters. Like, I'm telling you, there's a Yennefer card somewhere in here that I cannot wait to. Something just fell. See? Is the Witcher Wild Hunt something bust? Weird. Yo, I could have gotten, you could get the, can you see? You could get the bust. You could get the bust. So see, you have Geralt. That's Triss. This right here is Yennefer, love of my life. That is Ciri. Look at Cyrilla. And this is Eredin. Like, oh, you could get the bust, but it's like a picture just to show you the different busts that could come with the game. I didn't get that, unfortunately, but I repeat, see, colors, full-page pictures. Full-page pictures. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? Whoa. Oh my god, that is fake Ciri. I am in awe. I cannot wait to dive into this. So, Gwent, I repeat, this is a big-ass book and it is heavy, but worth it. To me, at least, because I repeat, when I tell you all that your girl is a geek, nerd, I'm certain you all think I'm joking, but I'm a geek, nerd, and I hope this kind of speaks to that for you. I've already shown you the bookmarks, but I have to, of course, bring up the fact that, yes, your girl bought, like, since my last book haul, you all have seen it in all my videos, so you know this. You know this was coming. House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas, which is the first book in the Christian City series. I have 2 copies. One of them is signed. One of them is not. And I love this. I love the series. I really do love this book. In this, we follow Bryce, who is dealing with the loss of her best friends and her friends, and trying to numb herself out of the pain. But when she discovers that the murderer, the person that she thought had killed her friend, is still out there, because she thought that they had gotten the right guy, but turned out that the person in prison is not the person that killed her friends. It's up to her to team up with an angel in order to root out the suspect and get vengeance. I have 2 copies. I loved it. You also saw the art of this, so you're not surprised. Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. We follow the offsprings of the characters we met in the Infernal Devices. Their kids, though, are following their own lives. They are falling in love. They are fighting spells. They are battling greater demons, and all the while struggling with the fact that there seems to be an infection and a rampage of demons making their way into London. Everybody's under quarantine, but for them to actually have a restoration of normalcy, they would need to find out exactly what is at the root cause of the demonic invasion in London. I love this. I adored it. You all saw the character arc. I love these characters. I love this book. So, Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. I also got A Source of Self-Regard by Toni Morrison. Essays, selected essay speeches and meditations. This is my group pick for the Fuckathon, and I have been looking forward to it arriving because I have not started reading the book. It's at 330 something pages, so I want to be able to read it like maybe 2 chapters a day, slowly sip in the magnificence that is Toni Morrison and her thoughts and her ideas and her opinions. And yes, so I would finally be able to start reading this, maybe 2 chapters a day leading to the end of the month. But I'm so happy. So, A Source of Self-Regard by Toni Morrison. And then I got A Taste of Honey by Kai Ashanti Wilson. I honestly do not know who brought this book to my notice, but I know I saw it somewhere and I'm like, yo, I'm very intrigued by this premise, because you have godlings on Earth basically having negotiations with royalty, and this is the era before dragons came, so that means ultimately dragons will show up. And apparently in this era, I don't think royalty and godlings mix, and then you have this boy who falls in love with a god, this male god over here, and apparently it's a big taboo. I'm interested because, once again, It's mythology, it's God, it's also very gay. So I'm like, is anybody surprised? Also that cover, look at that black boy. Look at that boy. Look at that boy. Look at his fro. Look at the thunder. Look at the god. I'm just, yeah. There's also a cheetah. There's also a cheetah on the cover. Your girl has simple tastes. And also it's a pretty small book. So I'm very intrigued to see if I enjoy it. I hope I do. Fingers crossed that I do. And then there's a memory called Empire by Akedi Martin. I got this. This is one of the books we're reading for the BookTube SFF Awards. I said we are reading because I still have not finished it. I actually have not started it yet. I need to get to that ASAP because we moved BookTube SFF Awards because of reasons. I'm certain nobody is surprised, but it is still going to happen, and this is still one of the picks. And the concept of this very intrigues me because you follow a young girl who has been stationed as an ambassador of her town to some bigger empire, right? An empire that has sight on our own small mining station. Clearly, the bigger empire is colonizing piece of shit. And the ambassador that had been sent from her mining station, the previous ambassador had been murdered, and it seems like she's next, but nobody seems to be doing anything to solve the mystery. And so it's up to her to do so, because if she does not, she will die. And also she's also the last hope of our mining station, so there's a lot resting on her shoulders. I have heard so many great things about it. So many people have read this book and loved it, and I'm like, I need to get to it so that I can love it too. It's important to me to eventually love it too. So yes, a memory called Empire by Akedi Martin. I also got The Starless Sea, which is yet another book that we're choosing for the BookTube SFF Awards. I've started it, but I've still not finished it yet. And honestly, so far, because I picked up this book for the cover and the fact that I know a lot of people loved it, but I did not want to know what this book was about. All I know about this book so far is there is a door. There is a door, and our lead protagonist apparently has experienced that door when he was a child, right? And he walked away, and now he's an adult, he's a graduate student, and a book turns up that will change his life. Because see, in that book, an unknown writer has chronicled his experience with the door. The problem is that when our lead character first encountered the door, he was the only one there. So exactly who chronicled his life, who peered into what he was seeing and attempting at that period of his life. I'm intrigued. And also, there seem to be like several layers in the story. I also heard that it has something to do with story keepers or librarians, and the lead character is a queer black boy, and I'm just like, yes, I want it. So I cannot wait to dive into it. I cannot wait to finish the story. I started it, then the Focathon happened, and I did not pick Starless Sea for any of my prompts, so I had to put it down. But what I read so far, I am very intrigued, and it's definitely a story I'm going to savor. Also, that cover. Look at that cover. I know a lot of people prefer the Moth one, which was the UK cover, but this is one of those rare books that I was like, nope, I do not like the UK cover. The US cover is better. Like, look at that. The keys are symbolic, people. The keys. And then I got Starsight and Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. Yes, this is the UK cover. Are they not pretty? I'm telling you, the UK has some really gorgeous covers, don't they? Like, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Oh my God. So yes, UK covers. Like, I think Brandon Sanderson has like his UK publishers give him better, because I've been seeing all his books. The UK covers are always better. If you do not believe me, if you do not agree with me, that's your choice. That is your opinion. My opinion is that UK covers are beautiful. They are gorgeous. Skyward is the first book in the series, followed by Starsight. In this, we follow a young girl whose father is believed to have been a traitor and a deserter, and as such, her dreams of being a pilot like her father has suffered, because nobody in the planet that she lives on can see her and not see her father, the deserter. But when it is that the enemy race that they are hiding and trying to, in their own small way, fight against, when it is that this enemy race increases the intensity of their attacks, there is a need for pilots, and this is finally Spencer's chance to fulfill her dream and hopefully also bring back the honor to her family. I still am of the opinion that her father probably did not desert them. I think I'm in like the second chapter. I've really not read this book yet. This actually, Starsight is also the pick for the BookTube SFF Awards. I have to finish this to get to this. So yeah, but I'm intrigued already. I love the concept, and the books are pretty, so I have to add them to the list. Why am I holding Starsight upside down? You all did not tell me. Not like you all can tell me, but I'm a mess. But anyway, pretty covers, but I got Skyward and Starsight, and I'm in love with them. And then I got Steel Crook Saga by Paul Kreger. I'm only going to hold this up for the next 10 seconds because just in case you're not on Twitter, Paul Kreger is a piece of shit, assaulter, and I got this book before the news dropped, so now I'm just like, I'm going to read it eventually because I paid money for it, but piece of shit. Cool world building, but piece of shit. But let's ignore Paul, whatever. I got Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. Oh my god, like, God. I saw an image on Twitter that they were like, yo, that is some queen that can call down dragons. I'm like, hold up. I know the title says Rage of Dragons, but why did it occur to me that there are dragons in this? And apparently, one in every, I think 10,000 women? Every 2,000 women can call down a dragon, and then you have the men who can also become super fast, like killing machine. And there is a young man here who just wants to get the fuck out of Dodge because see, this country that has been home to him, they've been in this ceaseless one. It's like, yo, I have zero interest in your stupid ass war. I'm going to go somewhere. I'm going to live, be happy, marry, have kids, have some land somewhere. Just live here with your bullshit. But when he is betrayed, it's like, fuck that shit. I'm going to become the greatest. I might not have any power now, but I'm going to train. I'm going to do everything possible to become the greatest swordsman this entire world has seen in several millennia, just so that I can come and kill every single one of those 3 murdering, backstabbing assholes that backstabbed me and my family. And I'm just like, this is a revenge fantasy with dragons. Yes, please. Thank you. Yo, I am so fucking dehydrated. I've been talking for a while now. I have a lot of books. This is quite the book haul, isn't it? But now I am done with like the books I got as gifts, the books I bought myself. Now are the books that came in one form of subscription box or the other, starting with The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller, with Follow a Girl who dreams of having power, and the way in which she wants to do this is to capture the eyes of the king, marry him, kill him, and take on his throne for herself. The only thing is that this king is considered the Dark King. He has some sort of dark power that nobody really understands and is practically unkillable. It's not going to stop her though. Alexandra wants power, and the only person standing in her way is that king, and she's going to, by God, she's going to have him fall in love with her and then kill him so that she can take his kingdom. It was such a great premise. I'm not going to say more than that. Next up is Incendiary by Soroda Cordova. Look at that cover. Isn't that cover beautiful? See the sprayed edges. Isn't this gorgeous? In this, we follow Renata, who is a memory thief, and her power has been used to basically kill hundreds of thousands of her people. So she's dealing with the grief of that. And when she finally has the opportunity to fight back, she takes it. But when the boy she's loved, did she love him or were they friends? Yes, the boy she's loved since she was a kid, when he's kidnapped and taken by the prince to the palace, she goes to go rescue him, and she has to go undercover and finds herself falling for the prince. And I'm just intrigued because I'm like, yo, isn't the prince the son of the person who was responsible for getting you to kill hundreds of thousands of your people? I love the drama, but also it's Zoroda Cordova, so you know it's going to be very dark and very gothic. It's going to give you Pan's Labyrinth vibes. Yes, I'm still thinking of Labyrinth Lost because that's the only Zoroda Cordova book I've read so far. But I found her magic system really intriguing there, so I'm very intrigued in getting this book, and I have heard such great things about it. So Incendiary by Zoroda Cordova. Also that cover, that cover is gorgeous. You know it's gorgeous. Admit it. Then there's The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant. Look at that shiny ass cover. But see, that's not just it. That cover is not just shiny and gorgeous. See this book naked. Look at it naked. Look at that. Isn't that the most stunning? Damn. Anyway, in this, we follow our young protagonist. What's her name? Eponine? Yes. This is meant to be a form of retelling of Les Miserables. I have not read it. I'm so sorry for... Yes, I am very uncultured like that. I have not read it yet. I apologize. I probably should get to it sometime soon. I'm sorry, Tati. I know Tati is probably like, bitch, the fuck? I've been talking about... I know you've been talking about Les Miserables. I've not read it. I'm sorry. But apparently it's whether a retelling or inspired by it or like taken in another direction. But basically, this takes place, like this happens. Basically, the whole concept of this is if the French Revolution did not succeed, and we have a girl whose sister is kidnapped, and as such, she devotes herself to a life of thievery and becomes a cat burglar and joins the very people who were responsible for the kidnap of her sister so that she can eventually save her sister. But in this whole thing, she ends up finding a family that she might have to betray in order to save her sister, which was the reason why she ended up joining them in the first place. Like, tell me that is not several layers of heartbreak waiting to happen. I'm ready for this book. This came in my Illuminate box. I cannot stop looking at that cover. That is the most beautiful cover. The Course of Miracles. Pretty! Then there's Bone Crier's Moon by Catherine Purdy. Look at that sprayed edges. So in this, we follow, our lead character belongs to a particular group of people whose responsibility it is to ferry the souls of the dead so as to keep the dead from preying on the living. But see, for you to become the matriarch of the Bone Criers are the ones, like I said, whose responsibilities it is to ferry the dead. So for you to become the matriarch of the Bone Crier, you have to kill the person you would fall in love with. And it's intriguing because, see, the boy she's destined to fall in love with and ultimately kill, his own desire is to kill, to bring about the end of the Bone Criers, because what a Bone Crier was the one that was responsible for the murder of his father. And that these two people who have vastly different goals, who would rather see the other person dead, that two of them are going to fall in love, and it's going to be magical and beautiful and amazing, and I cannot wait to read this book. I'm so excited to read this book. But yes, Bone Crier's Moon by Catherine Purdy. Also that cover, gorgeous. Then there's Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Bashan-Dust. This is a book that is inspired by the Shahnameh, which is the Book of Kings. I did mention it in my theological fundamentalism / religious intolerance prompt, because the Shahnameh is the Persian epic that says so much of their mythology, the story, the religion of Zoroastrianism, and also chronicles, the later part of it chronicles Persian history. And in this, Melissa takes from this story that is central to her people's mythology and legends and creates this world that is just epic and beautiful and also magical and also slightly terrifying. I'm smiling because I've read this book. I'm going to talk about it in my July wrap-up. But like I said, I'm rambling. Goddamn. Pick it up, Noria. This is inspired by the Shahnameh and also brings in fairy tales. We follow a young princess whose skin is poisonous to touch and has lived all her life in isolation. Sorry about the change, my battery died. So as I was saying, we follow a princess whose skin is poisonous and who has lived all her life in isolation. And when one choice has her unleashing horrors on the city and her family and everybody that she knows, it's up to her to save the day by embracing the power within her that she's always presumed meant that she was cursed. I loved it. And that cover, look at that cover. Isn't that pretty? See the sprayed edges? Like, this is one of the most beautiful covers. Gorgeous. Next up are my book of the month picks, starting with The Two Lives of Lydia Bird by Josie Silver. This, we follow Lydia, who lost the love of her life and is trying to move on with her life, but then she realizes that every time she sleeps, she wakes up in an alternate timeline where the love of her life is still alive, right? And now she's caught between the two timelines, because in the present timeline, there's somebody who realizes that every single time that spends in the other timeline, they are losing her in this present timeline. And I'm really, really intrigued about the concept. So The Two Lives of Lydia Bird, I heard is going to be a very depressing book. I'm bracing myself for that. Then there's Anna K by Jenny Lee, which is a retelling of Anna Karenina, Toy Story's Anna Karenina. In this case, we're following Upper East Side. Is it Upper East Side? Greenwich, to be precise. Teenagers who are used to living at the top of society, dealing with everything that comes with that level of money and wealth and privilege and power. And in this world is Anna, who has been living this life perfectly well until she runs into Alessia Count Vronsky. Ronsky, how is that pronounced? Anyway, she runs into Count. She falls in love with him. He falls in love with her, and their world as they know it shatters, and she ultimately has to make a choice. Now, I've still not read Anna Karenina yet, and I've been told that although this is like the teenage version of it, it's still not Anna Karenina. So I should not expect, like, after I read it, I'll be like, oh, so this is what Anna Karenina is about because of this, because this apparently is its own story, even though it draws its inspiration from that. Then there's One to Watch by Kate Stayman London. We follow our lead protagonist, B, who is plus size, living her life, also dealing with a broken heart, and also mocking a show that she currently watches, Main Squeeze, which basically has someone on the show and then there are different men trying to vie for the person's attention. Usually the person is a woman, also very skinny, also fitting to the beauty standards of the time, and she has always been mocking the fact that there is absolutely zero diversity, whether in skin tone or weight size of the people that they bring on the show. And when she gets a call for her to be on the show, she's intrigued and she agrees, only on one condition. She's not falling in love, she's just there to have a good time, you know, have a blast, be fawned over, go on a hot air balloon ride, etc., etc. But usually, we all know that when books have this old caveat of shall not fall in love, that is absolutely when you know that there will be some love falling involved in the story. So yeah, I can't wait to read this and figure out, like, watch this character drag herself kicking and screaming into love. It's going to be brilliant. Then there's Library of Legends by Jani Chang. I am very intrigued by this because this also does follow the sacking of Nanking, which, if you've read the Poppy War, you know that that is what inspired the Poppy War. And the characters in this, Lian is entrusted with a collection of myth and folklore, Chinese myth and folklore, and basically has to escape with this book from the university where she was studying as at when the war started, and she has to escape with this book, take it to Shanghai where she hopes to reunite with her mother. The thing though is that her classmates start dying one by one. Obviously people have secrets, including Lian herself, and on this journey also turns out that this book actually is imbibed with magic, because as they journey to Shanghai, technically they kind of awaken immortals and spirit guides along the journey. So it's historical fantasy, right? And I'm very intrigued, and I always love stories that involve characters going on journeys, because you know that they discover truths along the way and they discover themselves along the way as well. And the metaphor inherent in that is something that has always appealed to me when I'm picking up books that involve journeys. So Library of Legends by Jani Chang. And then there's The Boyfriend Project by Farah Rochin. When I read the synopsis of this, I knew I absolutely wanted to get this book, because usually when you read a story about cheating, like women stumbling on a cheating boyfriend, so many writers are used to women now attacking the other woman as opposed to the guy, the person who was 2-timing or 3-timing them. But see, in this story, that is not what happens, because when Samia realizes that not only is her boyfriend catfishing her, but he's also 3-timing her with like 3 other girls, the girls band together, dump his house, and then develop a friendship amongst themselves. Like the premise of that I find very intriguing, and I really did enjoy. I really do love that. And the girls also decide to go on a man fast, so you're like, no relationship, nothing. Of course, we all know that it is when you decide that you are absolutely not falling in love or interested in any relationship in romance books, that is when the dream person, the dream partner shows up. And in this case, it's Daniel Collins, who shows up at Samia's work while she's meant to be concentrating on developing an app that she thinks is going to change her life. He's there, the new co-worker, he's cut her eye, she's cut his eye, and you're just like, will they, won't they? We all know that they would, but it's always the journey to that point that intrigues me. So yeah, also that cover, gorgeous. And then finally, God, I've been talking for like forever. Finally, You Are Not Alone by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. This is a thriller, and it's a thriller that I find intriguing because, see, a girl discovers another woman like murdered. I think she finds her murdered body, or she's present when the woman, either she's murdered or she commits suicide. But basically, we follow Shay Miller. We follow Shay Miller, who has had basically an average everyday life so far, and when she's befriended by these 2 glamorous sisters who used to be best friends with the murdered person or the dead person, the dead girl, she thinks that their lives is fabulous, and she thinks that she practically wants their lives. What she does not know is that technically what they want is hers. I'm like, do they mean by our existence, our life of everything being ordinary and boring, or do they mean that literally, like they want to kill her, they want her life? So I'm very intrigued by this. And I also love the cover. It's really cute. But yeah, so those are all the books I hold. Over 50 of them. It's been insane. It's been crazy. Thank you so much for coming on this ride with me. Tell me which of these many books I hold do you think I should get into first, or which of this series you think I should get into first. If you are one of the people who sent me stuff and did not drop a note, please let me know in the comments so that I can say thank you. I am really, really happy and really, really grateful and really, really thankful. But yeah, that is this whole video. I think I've spoken for way too long. This video is going to be too fucking long. Why do I always make uber long videos? But anyway, yes, that is it. If you like this video, please do not forget to give it a big thumbs up. Check out my other videos. Subscribe if you want, and if you do decide to subscribe, please click on that notification bell so you can know the minute I have a new video go up, because otherwise YouTube will not notify you when my videos go live. And trust me, that's important. But whatever the case may be, I do make new videos every Wednesdays and Sundays at 2 p.m. EST. That's 2 p.m. EST, and I will see you soon. Until then, stay passionate, love books, love yourself. Bye.